Well, are they going to call Swin Cash a hater for her latest criticism on Caitlin Clark after the Atlanta Dream knocked off the Indiana Fever on Thursday, 108 to 101 at the Cambridge Fieldhouse? And after the game, Swin Cash had some heavy criticism towards Caitlin Clark about being a ball hog and how the offense struggles when she is handling the ball and just keeping the ball in her hand. Now, we all know Swin Cash played the game at a high level, and she was very successful at it. But the problem is when people criticize Caitlin Clark, they have to be haters. See, Caitlin Clark is not above criticism. And I think Swin Cash gave her honest opinion about Caitlin Clark after the loss to the Atlanta Dream, 108 to 101. And we got a lot to unpack, and we're going to do it right after this.
What we talking about? What's up, K-Shot? Yeah. James Ford, that's me. Let me talk to him. Let's get it.
I'm simply ball dropping, simply ball dropping. Chopping up these topics, man, I'm simply ball dropping. Driving coast to coast, making moves, ain't stopping. Driving coast to coast, making moves, ain't stopping.
Hey, let me put you on game. These other podcasts out here talking that shit, but ain't repping the same. It's my bro K-Shot, chopping up topics for your optics. From politics to your cockpits. Tune in, you gotta watch this. Exclusive material for your radio, stereo, pumping high definition. Stop what you doing and listen. We smashing all competition. You better jump on this wave. Somebody pass me a mic, man, I got something to say.
And now, your host of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast, the man behind the mic, K-Shot.
Well, guys, man, I got a lot of things to say about this, man. And the crazy thing about it is, the Atlanta Dream and the Indiana Fever have matched up twice this year. And it's 1-1. Both games been played at the Cambridge Fieldhouse. And on Thursday, leading up to the highly anticipated rematch, there was a lot of things that was said, a lot of storylines that came out, because we all know Angel Reese was traded from the Chicago Sky to the Atlanta Dream in the offseason. And it seems like Angel Reese has fit in seamlessly the Atlanta Dream. The Atlanta Dream are off and rolling. And I've said many a times that there's some things that the Atlanta Dream have to, fix to be real title contenders, real threats in the WNBA. And we already know the storyline and the backstories between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark. When you mention Angel Reese, you always got to say something about Caitlin Clark. When you say something about Caitlin Clark, you always got to say something about Angel Reese, because it seems like now they attached at the hip because of the NCAA championship when LSU knocked off Iowa. And the big controversy, you can't see me and things like that. So now it's this Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark backstory and storyline. So every time they face each other, it's always going to be stories. So now that they faced each other again on Thursday, and the Atlanta Dream came away with the victory, 108 to 101, and how Angel Reese dominated on the basketball court. She dominated Indiana Fever, and she won up to Caitlin Clark. And now the highly anticipated game that's we'll be seeing later on today in Atlanta. It's a lot of buildup. But after the game on Thursday, Swin Cash, broadcaster for Prime Video, she had a lot of things to say about Caitlin Clark on the reason why the Indiana Fever lost that game. And she points out to the offensive struggles, mainly because of Caitlin Clark. And it was very interesting on what she said right after the game. So right after the game, She pointed out a few things. She said the Fever fell behind by double digits with Clark on the floor. And, things just was kind of crazy. You know what I'm saying? So basically, in these articles that she said, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy the way she said things. You know what I'm saying? So I'm kind of interested on how people are going to take this on the latest criticism that Swin Cash has given, Caitlin Clark. So basically, in a nutshell, like I stated, she said the Fever fell behind by double digits with Clark on the floor and only clawed back into the game when she was forced to the bench with foul trouble late in the game. When Clark returned with 5 fouls, Reese and the Dream were able to pull away. Clark ended the night with a game worse, minus 13 plus minus. After the game, Amazon Prime studio analysts talked about the contributing factors to the Indiana struggles, and Clark's eccentric play style was mentioned. So basically, in a nutshell, Swin Cash was very critical of the reason why the Indiana Fever lost. And let's listen to what Swin Cash had to say right after the game. Let's take a listen.
All time. Well, Caitlin had 26 points, right? Mm-hmm. All of her baskets, she had somebody right there. It was rare that we just saw an open shot. And so they were applying pressure all day long. But the Fever, sometimes when you get into a situation where the ball stays in her hand a little bit longer, there's stretches where other players aren't touching it.
Yes. Yeah. And I just want to add on to with the defense, deflections.
Now, you heard exactly what Swin Cash said. When the ball stays in Caitlin Clark's hand for that long, nobody else gets touches. But let's go back to last year with Caitlin Clark out of the lineup due to injury. The Indiana Fever was 18-16. They had an overall 20-17 record without Caitlin Clark. That was including the postseason. And a lot of people stated that, the offense looks better with Caitlin Clark sitting on the bench or out the game. They had Ari McDonald in the game, and Stephanie White was able to really coach and really get the best out of this team, because it seems like with Caitlin Clark, I don't care who the coach is, they want the coach to center everything around Caitlin Clark. Now, I've always said, man, if you're a superstar, you should be able to fit in any system and make adjustments. But it seems like Caitlin Clark can't make these adjustments because it seems like her fans, her stands, want the ball to be in Caitlin Clark's hand at all times and tell everybody else to get out the way. I've always said Caitlin Clark has been great in transition, and she is very crafty with passing that basketball, and she's very crafty. And I looked at Thursday's game, and Caitlin Clark didn't have a bad game at all. She didn't settle for the three. She was getting to the cup. She was pulling that mid-range game, so she was efficient on Thursday night. But it's with her handling the ball and turning the ball over at a high clip is costing Indiana and getting them out of their flow. And when you got people like Kelsey Mitchell and Aaliyah Boston, they need the ball as well. But it seems like Swin Cash said, hey, Caitlin Clark is out there ball hogging. And, this game that's going to happen later on today, this is going to be the telltale. Indiana got to come into Atlanta, into where Angel Reese was traded to and where Angel Reese is being very successful. And if you look at how Indiana has played now, the Indiana Fever are 1-0 without Caitlin Clark this year, right? They have a record with Caitlin Clark on the court this year of 8-6, and overall they're 9-6, right? But it seems like a lot of people been saying, man, that this offense looks a little better without Caitlin Clark out on the floor, because now they want to point everything at the head coach and saying that the coach needs to know how to coach Caitlin Clark. Well, Caitlin Clark is not above the system. You know what I'm saying? And Stephanie White has a system that she's trying to implement, and it can't be all about Caitlin Clark. This is a team game. And we've all seen individually talented people can't win on their own. And the criticism, was it warranted? Was it fair? That's just Swin Cash's opinion. And the thing about it is, a lot of people gonna come out and say, well, Swin Cash is hating and all that, but this is what she saw in Thursday's game. Now, you know what it is, man. Last year, they was one win away from getting to the WNBA Finals. And if Kelsey Mitchell didn't go down with the body locking up and she had a medical scare, they would have beat the Las Vegas Aces. But that's either here nor there. You know, I just want to know, is the criticism warranted? Or is she going to be called a hater? But, you know, she stated her claim. But Caitlin Clark is an exceptional basketball player. She's an exciting player to watch. But as superstars, you got to be able to fit in to the system that your head coach puts out there. And people can't always blame the coach for your flaws. But that's what it is, man. But I just want to know, is Swin Cash going to be called a hater? I'll get down in the comment section.
I see everyone in the comment section. #salute. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and turn on your post notifications so you will know every time I drop a hot banger. Oh yeah, just in case I forgot, tell a friend to tell a friend. It might not be for you, but it might be for them. And that will wrap up another episode of the Simply Ball Dropping Podcast. I'm your host and the man behind the mic, K-Sap. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.